Welcome to More Than Mindset, the only podcast that bridges the gap between spirituality and success. Go beyond the mind with clarity and confidence coach Kim Guillory and learn how to integrate your passion to serve with your skills and experience to create a business you love. Let's get started. Hey, and welcome back. Alrighty, guys, I have been having a lot of the same questions again this week. So I love when I can see the same issue like in so many different people, because then I know there's actually something else going on. So maybe it's the planets, maybe it's whatever's going on in the transits or the moon or whatever you want to blame it on. But it surely does bring up a lot of stuff, coincidentally, across the board. And so this week it's more about, Kim, how do I create something when I still have this problem? Like, how can I have that if this is how I'm living right now? How can I focus on that? Or like, even how can I even make it happen? It's impossible. Like, if I want to be a full-time entrepreneur and I'm working a full-time job, working 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 or whatever, like, how is that even possible for me? That's a lot of the stuff that we'll get. Or I want this, like, I want to mend my relationships, but they're not on board, whoever the partner is. Or maybe it is something that's going on with the parent and their child, but it's kind of the same thing. It's like, I just have to deal with what is right now, so I can't have what I want, is the attitude that I hear. So see if you can stay with me. It might look like you get to put yourself, guys, it's health, wealth, or relationships. I'm always going to kind of ball it up and let you take it the way that makes sense to you. I'm always business minded first. If you didn't know that yet, it's just what comes very natural. And it's what I have spent the majority of my time focusing on, because I actually love business. And I believe that my personal growth is the business in, like, the person that's in business. Like, if I can do my own personal work and grow myself, then I can naturally grow my business and my contribution to the world. So I think the two work hand in hand. So anyway, back to today. So if you want to create something else, but you're still living in a challenging circumstance, what do I do? That's basically the question. So if I need to make $8,000 months and I'm only making $4,000 months, and this is all the time I have, and I have kids and I have other responsibilities, like, how dare I even dream of having more, right? That's kind of the attitude. And what I'm going to tell you, it's going to sound really simple, and you're probably going to resist it and roll your eyes, but I'm going to tell you anyway. You have to quit focusing on what's not working. You have to quit focusing on what you don't want. And you have to quit focusing on what's not going the way that you want it. Easier said than done, I know. But listen, you don't have a choice. This is how you have to do it. So as soon as you set the intention that you wanted something different, you put in the request. Okay. So let's just imagine you're at the diner and the waitress comes. You're looking at the menu and you are putting in your request for what you want to order. But imagine doing this to the universe or God or source, however you relate, and whatever words you use for higher power or higher being. You put in the order when you bring your focus and attention to what you do want. So if it is the $8,000 a month, it's like you just put in the order. That's the easy part. The second easy part is it just starts coming to you. If you don't try to control exactly how it's supposed to happen, where it's supposed to come from, what it's supposed to look like, right? Many of you think, oh yeah, it's just airy-fairy if you just put in your request and let it go. But sorry, Charlie, that's just how it works. So you put in the request and then it starts coming closer to you. And it's very often surprises, like it's in ways that you didn't even think about. And that's actually what makes this so fun. But your mind starts wanting to predict and dictate and make it a certain way. And that's when you miss the boat because you're so preoccupied with resisting and fighting what is and trying to change the thing that you don't like and don't want, that you miss your ride. You miss when they call your name. You miss when they come to pick you up. And so the not getting what you want is actually because you are focused on the wrong thing. Does that make sense? So let's try this again. What you want is, I'm just going to stay with the money, is to make more money, to get more clients, to get a raise, whatever it is, but just to have more money. So you just imagine in your checking account, having that money, what your life would be like. And you're kind of playing here, put in your request. This is really hard for a lot of people because we have a hard time imagining because we've been taught that that's silly and stupid and you shouldn't do it. And you're never going to get it. You're going to make a fool of yourself. That's the problem. You've been taught that. So right now, do this with me. Imagine the amount of money that you want to make, or that you want to, if you want to use the word earn, or that you want to receive. Just imagine having it right now. How does that feel in your body? Maybe you don't feel anything, right? So I just did this at Belief Bootcamp, so I kind of know what some of the struggles are. So again, go back to your checkbook, write in the amount, imagine that it's there. How do you feel? Do you feel relieved because you know the bills are going to get paid? Do you feel excited because you're going to be able to go to the event you wanted to go to? Or maybe you're going to have some extra so you get to invest in something. How do you feel? Is it safety? Do you feel safe? Do you feel excited? Do you feel relieved? What do you feel when you see that amount of money in your account? Now, I'm going to take it a little bit further, and let's imagine that that happens time and time again. And now this is just your normal way of living. It's like, why would you ever look at it not coming? Because you're just so sure that it's always going to come. Can you even imagine that? So what I'm taking you through these exercises is to actually give you an indication of where your belief stops. And if you could do the exercises and not just listen to this, then you're going to get more from it because you're doing what it takes to get it. So it's first imagining and then open yourself to receive by exploring, imagining, expanding, and then stay there long enough to where a sensation does come up in your body. And then see if you can label it or identify that feeling. How does it feel? I will feel so relieved when I have steady income every single month, when my team is getting over and beyond what they want, when my clients are getting over and beyond what they want, like we get to choose the boutique hotels. We're not concerned with the meeting spaces or the cost. We're not concerned with how many people are buying seats because we know we're sold out in advance every single time. Can you see how I'm in the energy of what I want to create? I know for a fact that what I'm driven to do is have a deeper, more meaningful community where we have events and we bring people together and they have more deep, intimate connections. We are conscious minded, so stay with me and you imagine your own. Maybe for you, it's vacation. Maybe it's your kids having cool clothing that they want, or perfumes, or whatever it is that they want to buy. What lights you up and makes you feel excited? So that's what you're going to choose, and that's what you're going to stay. Now, that was step 2. Step 1 was the request. Step 2 was playing and imagining as it was coming to you. Those are happening simultaneously. Now, step 3 is to stay here and come back as often as possible. That's the hard part. That's where most of you drop the ball, including myself. We can take ourselves to nirvana, to the imaginary, amazing fairy tale land, but we can't stay there. We can't live there for long because our mind and our attitude gets in the way, our history and our beliefs. And then God knows we got all kinds of people around us reminding us. So do not tell other people what you're doing. That is that's a free hint for you. Because if you're trying to convince them and they don't actually believe it, they're actually going to take you out of belief and into disbelief. And that's pretty sad. So some of this stuff you're just going to have to do for yourself and do with yourself and not expect anybody else to come on board. If you try to share this with your partners, with your kids, with your parents, with your coworkers, you're going to be very disappointed. Yesterday, I had a surprise. I'm going off track for a minute, but I had a surprise that came in. Emily sent me a poster of the cycle of transformation, which is so fun. And the UPS guy dropped it off. And so he's watching me open it because I'm like, what is this? I had no idea it was coming. And then he's like, kind of shaking his head, didn't know what it was. And so I'm kind of explaining it, and I can see instantly he laughed, he scoffed at it, it's so silly. That's so dumb. Oh, whatever. And it was really interesting to watch. I was like, oh, obviously you have your shit together and this doesn't pertain to you. So I didn't get insulted. It wasn't about me personally, him personally attacking my intellectual property, right? It wasn't personal. He's just not my client. And he's not the person who needs this or wants this. Because when I take this out and I start sharing it with people, they're like, oh my God, that is brilliant. Those are my people. Got it? In yoga, we say, don't accept the flowers, don't accept the stones. In other words, you don't want people just throwing all this, you're so amazing, you're so amazing. And then at the same time, if you accept that, you have to also accept them telling you that you suck. So anyway, just going off track for a minute. That's what happens when you try to tell it to people who don't understand, who are not interested, and then you take it personally as if it's dumb or there's something wrong with you. But that's actually not the case. There was nothing wrong with me and there was nothing wrong with him. He's an amazing guy. I've been doing business with UPS for as long as I've been in business. And it was nothing at all about that information being stupid. It was about it not being for him. And so that's where the attitude comes in. And it's also where this really knowing yourself and being true to yourself and believing in the work that you contribute to the world and being really clear about who it's for. So sometimes we get into these groups of people and we're so excited to meet people and we're so needy and graspy that we want everybody to understand, or we want to sell coaching to whoever, and you're selling to the wrong people. I see this in my group. These are your peers. They are not your clients. You're here to support each other. You're all going out there to get clients. But I know that is a big part of what happens in communities, right? It's there's a lot of fishing in your own pond. So I know I got off topic on that one. I'm going to take you back. I know where I'm at. You set the intention, the desire. You plant the seed. And then you play in it, you explore it, you expand it, you imagine, and then you imagine what else, and then what else, and then how do you feel? And you really lock that feeling in and stay with it as long as possible. As long as you are staying in it, it's coming closer to you. When you pop out of it, it's either on pause or it's not coming as fast. Okay, so imagine that. Then it's coming towards you. It's coming towards you. You keep reminding yourself maybe 100 times a day. You keep coming back to the feeling. You coming back to the desire. You're only focused on what you want. As soon as you start to focus on what you don't want and what's not working, you're out of the game. You're out of the game. You're no longer playing. I'm giving you the rules. And when you're not following the rules, you're out of the game. You close, you put it back in the box and you put it in the closet. So if you want, imagine we got the game of life. We got the little, I don't know if it's dice or whatever in the game of life, but you're playing by the rules. You're staying in belief. As soon as the problem or the attitude come up, you close it, you put it in the box, you put it in and you're no longer playing. You're back by the old rules, by the old world, by the old, whatever old patterns that you were brought into that gave you the results that you have right now. So this week, I'm going to ask you, how many hours or how long or how many times can you stay in the game, in the imagination, in the playfulness, in the fun, in the spirit of it already being? Got it? Okay. So that's how you create something regardless of what your circumstances are right now. You pay more attention to what you want, less attention to what you don't want, and you just watch it start coming to you. one of the things that we did at Belief Boot Camp, and whenever we were doing the challenge word for the year, is I had my clients just imagine something, anything out of the blue. And it was so fun after Belief Boot Camp, the way that it appeared. And so they've been sharing in the More Than Mindset Facebook group and in the eSchool Self-Healing Masters, whatever container they're in. And it's so fun and playful. And it actually strengthens your belief. It keeps you in the game. It's like getting the bonus round, or I'm going to go to Monopoly, like the get out of jail free card. It's like, it just keeps the game moving along. And guys, let's just face it. We want it to be fun. Who wants to be serious and so structured and dotting every I and crossing every T and trying to force and make things work and pushing yourself or your opinions all over people? That ain't fun. Okay, so I want to see what you come up with. Listen, guys, if you know or have friends who are interested in this work, don't try to put it on someone who's not, because then they're going to be hating on me. It's like, I would appreciate if you share the podcast. You can share it on social media. You can leave a review. Give me a 5-star rating and a great review. That's really going to help get the show into the hands of, or the ears of, more people. That's it. That's what I got for you. I hope you have an amazing week.
Thanks for listening to this episode of More Than Mindset.